Tuesday, October the 21st. Please stand for our invocation, led by Reverend Dan Taylor, Public Safety Chaplain, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence following the pledge.
I invite you to pray with me. God, we thank you for this great day that you've given us. And Lord, we thank you for this great city in which we live and work. God, I thank you for the leaders of this city. And Lord, I want to pray for those that will transition into new leadership here. God, I pray you bless them. Be gracious to them. And Lord, I want to ask you to make us to be a shining light on a hill. And do that in such a way so when others look at Mobile, Alabama, they'll want to be like us. Thank you, Lord. In your name I pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you would, please remain standing for a moment of silence to recognize and honor two gentlemen and their families. First is retired Mobile Police Chief Michael Tyrone Williams. Chief Williams was appointed as chief back in 2010, and then he retired from the force in 2013. He started way early in 1988, rose through the ranks, and this was following a career in the United States Army. Chief Williams died on October 11th, and his funeral service will be held on October 27th. Also want to remember the family of a gentleman who a lot of us in this room know. His name is Matt Metcalf. He died earlier in the month as well. Matt was a great supporter and friend to so many here in Mobile, many successes in business. He was the chairman of the Mobile Airport Authority and instrumental in the development of both the MC Farmer Terminal at the regional airport as well as the Aeroplex at Brooklyn, and was very instrumental in bringing in Airbus to the city of Mobile. So we want to recognize and honor their memory, both of these gentlemen who were very instrumental in the city of Mobile, and who ask you all to just please remember them in a moment of silence.
Roll call. President Small.
Here.
Vice President Gregory.
Here.
Councilmember Penn.
Here.
Councilmember Carroll.
Here.
Councilmember Reynolds.
Here.
Councilmember Daves. Councilmember Woods.
Here.
Statement of rules.
And good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
It's good to see everybody this morning. Welcome to our October 21st, 2025 meeting. At this meeting, we do have rules. At this time, I ask if anyone have any type of electronic device, including cell phones, please at this time put on the off or the vibrate position, the off or the vibrate position. Any person that desiring to address the Mobile City Council must sign in indicating the resolution, the ordinance, or public hearing agenda item before entering the meeting. When speaking to the council, the speaker must give his or her name. Any person that desiring to speak to the council on a non-agenda item must contact the city clerk office no later than 2:00 p.m. the Thursday prior to the council meeting. The subject that he or she wishes to express to the Mobile City Council must be identified and pertain to the city of Mobile business. Anyone who has not given a proper note to the city clerk office and wish to speak on a non-agenda item would not be allowed to address this council. Each speaker is allowed 3 minutes to address this council. A bell will sound to indicate the end of 2 minutes. 1 minute remains for summarizing. The second bell indicates that your time has expired. When addressing the council, there be no personal address to any individual council members. All statements are to be made to the chair, who will recognize any council member who wishes to respond. To maintain decorum, there would be no undue applause or public outcry allowed. Madam Clerk.
Approval of minutes of September 24th and 30th.
So move.
Properly moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It's approved.
Communications from Mayor Stimpson.
Good morning. Good to see everyone. Thank you for being here today. I have two announcements today and three recognitions. The first has to do with what we call the nonprofit organization Growing Real Alternatives Everywhere. We will be hosting a traffic warrant clinic November 7th. It will be led by the legal department and the municipal courts. It's the fourth in a series of free clinics that help resolve outstanding traffic warrants. It's good for citizens, and it's also really helps out our local courts for them to be able to come down and resolve these issues. It's an unintimidating environment. We resolve these minor issues without the fear of anyone that shows up, without fear of them being arrested. On November 7th, the clinic is from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Spring Hill Rec Center. Children and family are welcome to come with anybody that chooses to be there. Also, registration is required. To find out more, go to the cityofmobile.org, go to our website, and it'll give you more information about it. Also, on Saturday, October 25th, the Mobile Police Department will be participating in what we call the National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. For citizens looking to safely discard unused or expired prescription medications, they can drop them off from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the PD headquarters on Government Street. The proper disposal of prescription medications prevents their misuse and protects the environment. And over 630,000 pounds of prescription drugs were collected across the country last year. This initiative saves lives and makes it easy for our citizens to do the right thing. We would hope that you would participate with MPD in making this event possible. We thank them for sponsoring it. And again, that's this Saturday, October 25th. We have two officers of the month. We have we have two. We have an officer of the month, and I'd ask Chief Melvin Jones to come please make that award.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's a great honor to me. I would love to present our Officer of the Month for September, Officer Jorge Chang. During the month of September, Officer Jorge Chang answered 116 calls for service and performed 45 backings. Officer Chang also made 3 felony and 20 misdemeanor arrests. One key event to mention is on September 22nd, Officer Chang made a traffic stop where the driver attempted to flee. After successful detainment of the subject, it was later discovered that the suspect was the subject of interest in a homicide investigation. Due to Officer Chang's proactive policing methods, the subject was captured and taken into custody. Officer Chang is a valuable asset to the Mobile Police Department, and it's with great pleasure to present you the September's Officer of the Month, Officer Jorge Chang.
Congratulations to you.
Chief, listen. We do the firefighter of the month, paramedic of the month.
Good morning. It's our honor to present to y'all paramedic driver Scott Manning. He is a 27-year veteran of the department and 25 years as a paramedic. So that goes to show a lot of what he's done for our city. He's been in some very busy different stations throughout his career and continues to serve the public and is one of our best medics that we have out in the field. And we're very proud of what all he has accomplished. One thing that he's really done in the last few months is with our new recruit class, we've changed something up because of our failure rate previously with our EMT program. So we started a new program with this, and we had a 96% pass rate of our EMT. And that's a very difficult test, and that's a testament to what he and 2 other individuals did for our new recruits. The national average is around 70 to 80%. But we achieved a 96% pass rate on the first time testing for the National Register EMT. So that speaks a lot of what they did and the amount of work they put into our employees that will soon be filling their shoes as well. So we'd like to present Scott Manning as our firefighter of the month.
Congratulations to you.
So over the last decade, we've been very fortunate from the perspective of almost every single department within the city has been accredited, and there's been recognition received by individuals. But to achieve the accreditations and the recognitions that we have, that means that we have to have some stars that are within those different aspects of the city. And we're very, very fortunate to have some stars. I want to recognize one today, and he doesn't know that I'm going to recognize him. But for several years, the gentleman sitting to my left, Ricardo Woods, has been attending the annual meeting of what was known as the Defense Research Institute. He really would appreciate if I wouldn't do this, but he deserves the recognition. So he was recently named the second vice president of this organization. And keep this in mind, this organization is the largest international organization of attorneys working in business and civil litigation. As the second vice president, he's on track to become its president in a couple of years. And it's the second leader from Mobile to be able to do so in the 64-year period that we've been participating in that organization. From my perspective, it's a reflection of them understanding his talent, his professionalism, and his leadership. For more than a decade, matter of fact, Ricardo was one of the first 2 or 3 people that actually we hired in this administration. But he served Mobile with distinction, not just as our city attorney, but also as a partner with Burr Foreman. He's a credit to the profession. He's a credit to the city. And above all, I'm incredibly personally proud of him, and I call him a real close friend. So join me in congratulating Ricardo Woods on this recognition.
All right, y'all, look here, smile. Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. It's yeah, I actually didn't know this was happening. I would have worn a tie. So DRI has been a huge part of what I've been doing, trying to represent the profession and do so. And representing the city has been one of the highest honors of my career thus far. I do not think this accomplishment would have happened without working and serving here for the last 12 years. It is about service. And I've had great examples from the 7 of you and your predecessors. And probably one of the best examples has been this man to my right, who has served as a constant advocate, wonderful client, and a mentor. So thank you all very much for the support and the honor. I'm humbled.
Congratulations to you. Congratulations to you, even though you are alpha man. Congratulations. Vice President.
And good morning again. You notice that a lot of us are wearing pink in the audience. and at the dais today, and that is in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. For those of you who don't know, I am one of 8. 1 in 8 women every year is diagnosed with breast cancer. I fortunately am blessed to be 8 years out from my diagnosis, be 9 years in March. Yeah. And today I have a proclamation in recognition of National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I would like to have Eduardo Real, if you would come down to the podium. I have the proclamation. And I see a lot of my friends from Mitchell Cancer Institute and USA Health in the audience today. I can't say enough good about the treatment that I received at Mitchell Cancer Institute and USA Health during my time. So, whereas the University of South Alabama Health provides the region's most advanced breast care for women, including routine exams, screenings, and diagnostic mammograms for the detection of breast cancer and education about general breast care. And whereas they encourage patients to become familiar with breast anatomy so they can understand changes that occur at various stages of their lives, from puberty to pregnancy to postmenopause. And whereas USA Health offers a full range of imaging options using the latest technology and expert diagnostic capabilities. And whereas they have a commitment to patients, survivors, advocates, and friends and family of those affected by breast cancer. And therefore I, Councilwoman Gina Gregory of District 7, and the members of the Mobile City Council, along with Mayor Willie Mastimson, do hereby recognize the University of South Alabama Health and their breast cancer centers for their outstanding dedication and service to many. So today we proclaim October 2025 as National Breast Cancer Awareness Month in the city of Mobile. So thank you very much, and this is your proclamation. Let me get a photo. If we could get everybody to come down with a photo as well. Gather around. Can you see everybody? Yes. Oh, okay. Everybody. So much. You want to say anything? Like this?
Well, thank you so much. This is an important month for breast awareness, and for you bringing it forward to the city is very important. And congratulations on being cancer-free. And we have several of our own who are in the same position, who had cancer and now cancer-free. So thank you so much for this proclamation and this honor.
You're very welcome. Thank you. And while y'all are still standing here, you mentioned that some in your group are also cancer survivors. We have some in the auditorium with us serving who are also cancer survivors. Would you all stand? Or if anyone in your family. Anybody? Yep. Thank you so much. We really appreciate everything that you do to bring awareness to breast cancer and all of the services that you provide. And again, I had terrific treatment. So go forth and help everyone else have the same sort of treatment and outcomes as we all did. Thank you again so much. Get your mammograms. Yes, definitely.
Thank you.
Okay.
Councilman Penn.
Good morning. I have a proclamation for the American Cancer Society. Can Susan Weeks come down? You here? How you doing? How you doing? I'm great. How are you? I'm doing great. Whereas the American Cancer Society is a nationwide nonprofit organization dedicated to eliminating cancer. It was founded on May 22nd, 1913, by 10 physicians and 5 businessmen in New York City under the name American Society for Control of Cancer. And whereas the disease was cloaked in fear, stigma, and denial, which created a significant barrier to education, diagnosis, and treatment. However, the American Society for Control of Cancer made cancer education its top priority. A nationwide information campaign was launched to inform doctors, nurses, and patients and families about the realities of cancer and the importance of early detection. Whereas in 1944, the organization changed its name to American Cancer Society to better reflect the mission and broaden its appeal. Over the decades, they have expanded their focus to include research funding, patient support, and becoming a global leader to fight cancer. Whereas making strides against breast cancer is a 3 to 5 mile non-competitive walk that aims at raising awareness and bringing together those who have been impacted by breast cancer. It's a celebration of courage and hope, a movement of uniting the community to end breast cancer. This walk has grown into the nation's largest and most impactful breast cancer movement, providing a supportive community for courageous breast cancer survivors. And now, therefore, I, Councilman Corey Penn of District 1, the members of the Mobile City Council, along with Mayor William S. Stimson, the 108th Mayor of the City of Mobile, do hereby recognize the American Cancer Society for their outstanding dedication and service to many. And today, we do hereby proclaim October the 2025th as National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, done at the City of Mobile, Alabama, on this 21st day of October. Can we give them a big hand? You have anything you'd like to say?
I just would like to say thank you for the recognition. Thank you for continuing to support the American Cancer Society here locally. We do have an amazing walk this weekend. The Making Strides Against Breast Cancer is a walk that takes place just right downtown at Spanish Plaza. We'll have over 5,000 folks show up and support survivors, thrivers, caregivers, honor loved ones, and it's free to attend. So we would love for you to come out and support us and walk the streets of downtown. So thank y'all. Thank you.
Madam Clerk.
Adoption of the agenda.
So move.
Second.
Properly moving second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Agenda is adopted.
Appeals, we have requests for a waiver of the noise ordinance on October the 25th on Fleetwood Drive.
So move.
Second.
Properly moving second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Appeal passed.
Public hearings. Today is a public hearing to consider the proposed conditional use permit for property located at 2316 Hillwood Drive West.
This opened up the public hearing for this particular said item. Is anyone present that would like to address the council on this item? If not, this public hearing is closed.
Today is a public hearing to consider the modification of a previously approved planned unit development for property located at 550 Providence Park Drive East.
This opened up the public hearing for this particular said item. Is anyone present that would like to address the council on this item? If not, this particular public hearing is closed.
Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. Mary Palmer.
Good morning, Mayor,
Morning.
council members. I'd like to talk to you a little bit today about our organization, the Boynton Oak Society. It was formed after I wrote my book, Boynton Oak, A Grave Injustice. And we discovered that Charles Boynton, you may know the story, he was a young man who came to Mobile in 1833 and was quickly convicted of killing his best friend and tried. And then they had two unqualified jurors. One was a British citizen, the other believed he was guilty from the get-go. So it was all circumstantial evidence. Two people had deathbed confessions. The one was 12 years after the crime, his landlord confessed, and 60 years after the crime, the girlfriend of the murdered man confessed. So we decided that perhaps he did not have a fair trial, and we're working on a posthumous pardon. And before all that came about, we decided to have a Boynton Oak Festival, which is held at Oakley every year. And we need your support for that. We've received support from Councilman Ben Reynolds and from the county. And it's in Councilman Carroll's district. We've talked to him. So we really need more support. We've had buses coming from Foley, and it works out really well. Local students do the acting, but we still need to get the word a little bit further. We appreciate your support. This year we're going to employ a publicist to spread the word more and to solicit groups from other states and from all around, because I think this is a good way to make Mobile known better. The reason we feel justice should be served and justice delayed is justice denied. Boynton was 19 years old when he was hanged, and it was in Buzzard's Roost, which I think is now Washington Square. We've had direct descendants, we've had descendants, collateral descendants of his involved with our group, and it just needs, the message needs to go further. When he was 19 years old, that's pretty young to get hanged, and he was very innocent and naive. He didn't have any help. So we want to, this year we're going to, again, have the Battle House provide a package. They've done that in the past, and that also is a big attraction for the city of Mobile. With the notice from the Alabama Power Company, a sign that had not been there since 1971 is now put back up on the site. It wasn't marked before, and this came through the Pomeroy Foundation in New York. So we feel like that this is, being Mobile's oldest and most famous legend, we feel like it deserves notice. We're also working on getting a stamp that's been applied for, and they're considering it. It's been optioned for a movie.
Ms. Palmer, question for you. Have you all have contacted Events Mobile or the chamber?
Yes, I've talked to Visit Mobile and Events Mobile. Sometimes we seem to have a hard time getting them to make sure it goes on their calendar. And they have been cooperative, but we've tried to contact all of those people to get the word out.
So you're requesting this council to, honor him by making this like a day for him?
Yeah, hopefully, if you don't have something on May the 10th, that is the day of the murder in Church Street Graveyard, when Nathaniel Frost was killed. And that would be a great day to,
I would like for Ms. Pavonia, if you would work with our attorney, make sure that's something that we can really just carry on through, and we'll just see about doing that for you.
Okay.
And maybe Ms. Pavonia, if you can get her Ms. Palmer address, and phone number.
Yeah, did you get the flyer?
Yes.
It's on my phone number's on the flyer.
Yeah, and we can see about, bring her back down when we get ready to do the presentation.
And
Okay?
as I said, it's optioned for a movie, and then we have, let's see.
All right. Thank you so much for coming and everything.
Okay, it's Mobile's always
Your 3 minutes is up.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Madam Clerk.
Lakeisha Clements.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Lakeisha Clements, and I'm currently an employee at Fat Tuesdays, also known as 1608. I stand here before you today to inform you how important Fat Tuesdays is to many of us, not only the employees, but the community as well. As employees, Richard Johnson has been more than just a boss to us. He is also a very supportive friend. There is not one employee who can approach him in the time of need. We all know that. We have him to lean and depend on. You may say that Richard Johnson is a nuisance, but in my eyes, I'm sure many of others, he is a pillar to his community. There are not many Black establishments that give back to the minority community, but I have seen firsthand how many people Richard Johnson has given back to. He hosts numerous Thanksgiving dinners every year that is funded through him alone, that he has provided food for many of the homeless, other lower income families in that area. He has had an Easter egg hunt every year that is also funded by him alone. He gives away over $500, and that's not even including the cost that it takes to put the functions together. At the events, the kids of that community get to enjoy free food, spacewalks, face paintings, and many other enjoyments. Think about those children when rendering your decision. Richard Johnson has donated money to support the campaign of not only some of the city council members that sit before us today, but even political parties in the city of Pritchard. Richard Johnson has donated to many children outside of this community and in his own community as well. Some of the schools that he has supported includes Causey, Viger, and Chastain Middle School. Those are just to name a few. He allowed these children to participate in after-school activities, as some of these children can be awarded that opportunity without his generous contributions. Majority of the accusations that have been stated here are merely hearsay. Richard Johnson has done everything in his power to ensure the safety of his employees and customers. From having 5 security guards to maybe 4 or 5 police officers in the parking lot, he has done his part. Some things in life can't be prevented, no matter how much security or police officers you may have. Just look at the world around us. Think about how many other establishments have encountered the same problems, but yet still exist today. So are you really serving justice? Or are you trying to close down a Black business owner who owns a bar and a lounge, but is also a village? And as we all know, it takes a village to raise the children who are our future. I hope you take my words into consideration and think of how detrimental this would be, not only to Richard Johnson, but also to the community and his employees. The employees of 1608 are more like family. The establishment is more than just a bar. It is where we come to feel safe, and it's our home.
All right, thank you.
Betty Fowler regarding Resolution 09-1338. Oh.
Hello, I'm Betty Fowler. I'm here to address the City Council and also Mayor Stimpson and my Councilman C.J. Small. I'm representing, I didn't give my address, did I? I'm 2761 Gonzales Road, Mobile, Alabama. Okay. I'm here today to celebrate this item on the agenda, the transfer of funds from Capital Project CO116 to Capital Project DIP Community Center Project, $2 million, sponsored by Mayor Stimpson, submitted by Scott Collins, Finance Director. And as many of you know, I've advocated for many years for a community center for this area. And we're here today to celebrate. I do have several people from the community with me. Would you stand? Yes. To show our support and thanks for this allocation, and we're very excited, and we're very thankful to Mayor Stimpson for making this allocation. We're thankful to the city council members for approving it, and I'm also grateful to Councilman Small for his continued support of many years of our community in enhancing the life of our community, and also his dedication to the boys and girls and the youth. Thank you so much, Councilman Small.
Thank you. Yeah, I would like to say thank you, Ms. Betty, and also to the residents. Thank y'all so much for coming down in support of this. This is really a great day here, not just in the city of Mobile, but special along the south end of DIP. As I stated on last week during our pre-council meeting, south end of DIP is almost like a desert for a recreation center because the closest place for a recreation center is like 5 miles away. And I know way before I decided to get on council, south end of DIP has been advocating for a community center for a long, very long time. When I had got on council, I met Ms. Fowler, and she was advocating for a Boys and Girls Club. Before I got on council, she was advocating for a senior center, which was in District 4 at the time, and then it just came over to be District 3 because John Williams was was the representative, and he got together the first senior center down that way. Then came to my predecessor, where they went to the current building now. This is a great project because it's not only serving the residents of South DIP, but it will be serving the residents from really across the city. Especially after the pandemic, many residents was coming from all across the city, coming down to South DIP because of the programming that was going on at the senior center. But this facility that we're looking at now is not just only going to be for seniors, but it's going to be for the youth. And not only for the youth, but also hopefully for the food pantry and things that the residents down there have been hollering about for years. I see this coming to Truth real soon. And again, I'd like to thank the mayor. I hate that he's not here, but he can see the residents they had came down on today to thank him. Because again, it wasn't for you and the mayor, we won't be, and this council, hopefully, that we won't be here today. But again, thank you so much, Ms. Fowler, for being a very great advocate for the South DIP area, and thank you for all that you do for District 3.
And this is a joyous day for our community.
It is. Our city. Thank you. Madam Clerk.
Reggie Hill regarding 88053, 08, 1310, 1325, 1326, and 09, 1336.
That was 1310 through 25.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yes, ma'am. My apologies. Thank you, Madam City Clerk. To the citizens and stakeholders of Mobile, greetings. Reggie Hill is my name. Excuse me. Let's start, please, with those matters about the vehicles. As I mentioned last week, over the past 3 weeks, we've seen about $6 million that are going towards vehicles. To make this plain for time's sake, I'm hoping that someone will request an updated inventory list. If there is one that has already been done, it hasn't been made public. We see that there's another line item today which is saying repairs for the fire truck. I think it's a little bit more conducive, maybe if we're repairing some of these vehicles where it seems there might be similar or smaller damages, and then we're just replacing them outrightly. I think we can put that money towards public safety in a better manner, seeing that about $4 million of those dollars are going towards public safety vehicles. And we know that we don't have the personnel to really fit that, and we have nothing to observe to show why we should be spending the money in this way, other than just patterns that we've been doing over the past several years. Let's look, please, at this housing investment component. This is 09-1336. While we've spent over or close to $1 billion on 2 development projects that I don't think were necessary or in the best interest of the people, and we know it's going to leave us 20 years of debt for our children, to take care of these things, it is still very delightful to see that we will be putting at least $1.5 million towards these housing projects. My neighbor in District 2 has been advocating for this, as I have for years as well, and so we need to see some way in which we can get more resources toward the underserved parts of the community. And so while it's not anywhere matching what we're spending on other things, this is a good start, and so we're appreciative of that. Let's look, please, at this matter with the Gulf Coast Technology Center. I was pleased to learn about this story about Charles Boynton. And until you have your privacy tampered with, until you have your name smeared, until you have all these things that are coming at you because you speak truth to power, you won't really understand the threat of when you see money coming to the Gulf Coast Technology Center on each of these agendas, especially when they have moved that line item from being something that is in the general budget to its own operating funds. So we really don't know what's going on over there. So anything like that, I think we just need to be observant of what that is and cognizant of what we're using those resources for, because we rarely get any reports about what they're doing over there either. And lastly, for time's sake, the information that we saw last week and what we're defining as testimony was quite sketchy. I think that this is something that we need to send back to committee, the Public Safety Committee. There are a lot of things that were probably done out of context or out of order. I don't have time to go into all of it. I'm probably going to come back and speak to it again because we really need to send it back to committee. But I would like to know if we're giving third-party contracts for our police officers when they're serving off duty, and they're using the city vehicles to go somewhere. It was touted at this podium that they have no idea what's going on with those contracts. So I think that that's an issue in itself. If we're going to use the city vehicles, now if their own vehicles or something to that extent, that's different. You know, they have the right to do what they want to do as private citizens. But if you're using city vehicles, I think we need to know a little bit more about what's going on. So that's sketchy in itself when considering this man's business. Thank you for yielding the floor.
Ordinance is held over. 52046. Adopt Chapter 52 Real Property Maintenance and Enforcement, Article 8, Vacant Structure Registry for Henry Aaron Loop.
Motion lay over 1 week.
Second. Properly moved and second in discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item laid over for 1 week.
64049, consider the proposed modification of a previously approved PUD for property located at 4350 Moffett Road. 64050, consider rezoning property located at 2602, 2610, 2612, 2614, and 2616 Old Shell Road and 1057 and 107 Item Avenue from R1 to B2 and B2 to B2. 64051, consider an amendment to the Downtown Development District Regulating Plan to rezone property located at 250 St. Francis Street from T5.1 to T5.2. 88052, ordinance deeming certain property not now needed for public or municipal purposes and authorizing the sale thereof. 165 South Dearborn Street. 88053, ordinance donating certain property to the city's affordable housing program and authorizing option to lease thereof, eastern portion of 1050 Baltimore Street.
So moved.
Second. Properly moved and second in the discussion. I would like to say on ordinance 88-053, that is property deeming over to the housing board, excuse me, for a lease, pretty much to help to start more affordable houses in the community. And this is also to help to turn around Baltimore Street, something that we are aiming to do by cleaning up. First, we rebuilt Baltimore Street. Now we revitalizing the community center over there. And now we are putting brand new houses over there. And this here is a step forward to help to redo 1010 Baltimore Street. One request I had made earlier on last week is to make sure that we get rid of that name, 1010 Baltimore Street, because of the bad stigma name that it has on itself. But this is another step to help to revitalize the Baltimore Street community. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes.
CIP resolutions held over. 211297, authorized contract with Gaines Utility Construction Company for sidewalks along Dolphin Island Parkway. 211298, authorized contract with J. Payne Organizations for CIP Hillsdale Senior Center renovations.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second in the discussion.
Yes, sir, Mr. President.
Advice.
The 21-1298 is a contract for some work at the Hillsdale Senior Center. So this is an out parcel building at the Recreation Center over in Hillsdale, and I'm excited that we are moving forward on this to renovate the building. Next week, there was a contract for work on the roof. This is giving the seniors a place of their own. They have been inside the rec center at Hillsdale for many, many years, sharing with young people. But this is their own center. This is what they wanted to do. When we offered them the opportunity, they said, yes, indeed, we want that building for ourselves. So I'm excited to see this happening. We have already had kind of an unveiling of the center itself with the naming of the facility, and then those who will be in a Hall of Fame inside the building. These are all trailblazers in the community. So again, I'm excited to see this moving forward, and I know everyone in Hillsdale and actually that whole community in West Mobile will be very excited to see this when it is completed and be able to take use and make a lot of good use out of the services there. So thank you.
And I'd also like to speak on 21-1297, and that's the sidewalks along the Dolphin Island Parkway. And again, this is more improvement to make things more walkable in the community. Again, I'd like to thank the administration for assisting with this matter. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? CIP passes.
Resolutions held over. 09-1256, authorized revision of the ADECA Community Development Block Grant Coronavirus Response Budget Allocation. 08-1301, approved purchase order to Alltech Industries for aerial truck for urban forestry. 08-1305, approved purchase order to Chevrolet of Watsonville National Auto Fleet. 08-1309, approved purchase order to Detective Kim. 08-1310, 1311, and 1312 are approving purchase orders to Empire Truck Sales. 08-1314, approved purchase order to Limbaugh Motors, Inc. 08-1316, approved purchase order to MHC Truck Leasing. 08-1319 and 1320 are approving purchase orders to Parrish Tractor Company, LLC. 08-1322, approved purchase order to Port City Trailers. 08-1323, 1324, and 1325 are approving purchase orders to Sansum Equipment Company. 08-1326, approved purchase order to Software Company for annual renewal of intelligence management software. 08-1327, approved purchase order to Cyrus Ford Lincoln. 08-1328, 1329, and 1330 are approving purchase orders to Sun South LLC. 08-1331 and 1332 are approving purchase orders to Truck Equipment Sales. 08-1335, approved purchase order to Vector Solutions for annual renewal of personnel training, qualification, evaluation, equipment inspection software. 09-1336, approved allocation for the City of Mobile Housing Improvement Plan Enterprise Fund. 09-1337 and 1338 are transferring capital reserve funds and close out inactive capital accounts and transferring capital project to capital project CO 116 to capital project DIP Community Center project. 21-1339, authorized contract with Benjamin Victor Studios, design, model, cast, finish, deliver, and oversee installation of a sculpture, Jimmy Buffett, for the National Maritime Museum. 21-1340, authorized contract with Bill Smith Electric for emergency generator. 21-1341, authorized contract with Cellco Partnership doing business as Verizon Wireless. 21-1342, authorized contract with C. Thornton for miscellaneous drainage repairs, districts 1 through 7. 21-1344, authorized contract with Vogert for construction engineering and inspection services for the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue Complete Streets project. 25-1345, accept temporary construction easements for drainage repairs for Tolman's Spring Branch. 60-1347 and 1348 are authorizing settlement agreement and release of claims.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moving second. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. President, there are actually two that I'd like to talk about that are in District 2. First, you'll see another allocation of $1.5 million. This is the second allocation that I've made to the Housing Improvement Plan, which is a plan that was written by myself in conjunction with the administration. This plan revitalizes neighborhoods. It takes blighted properties that are empty, that have been derelict, that hadn't had anything done with, overgrown lots, that have liens against them and other things, has them purchased, put into our land bank, and then developed in neighborhoods that have been overlooked for a long time. We are currently developing, I think, 17 properties at this point in time, on our way to 34. But this additional allocation out of this year adds additional funding to the program for the program to go on now from year 1, 2, and 3. With this program having a revolving fund, now the $4.5 million we have in it can turn into easily a $20 million redevelopment project for the campground and for the bottom. This is a project that we worked very hard on and that I've worked very hard on over the last 3 years to see it come true. And this is going to be a neighborhood changer for us in the campground in the bottom. I'm very thankful for the administration, and also because this year I had to ask for the continuing $1 million deposit. But being that we don't know the outcome, I'm going to ask the administration to change this into a continuing resolution so that we additionally have that money each additional year up until we get there. And I know the fiscal constraints that we have coming over the next 3 years, but it's important that we keep putting this money into neighborhoods that do not see it and that really need it when it comes to revitalization and also blight removal. We all know it's so very hard to gain right of entry to get onto a property. Most people don't know that it takes 6 months every time we cut 1 yard or cut 1 lot, it takes 6 months before we can get back onto it. So the general public doesn't understand that process. But as quickly as we can get these developments going and continue this housing revitalization project and neighborhood revitalization, it's going to really make a difference in the campground. The other thing is the MLK restructuring and redoing that street. For over 4 years now, we've worked really hard on getting the additional funding to match with the Tiger Grant and the other monies that we had to redo this street. Along with this project, from MLK, from Broad Street all the way down to Butcher's Alley, will be another transformative part of redeveloping the campground in the bottom. We're totally changing the way the neighborhood looks, the way it's formed, the way people walk up and down the street, adding another catalyst to redoing a neighborhood that's been overlooked for 40 years, along with all the other things that are happening with the Commissioner Ludgood. Also, next year's completely repaving of every street from Broad Street all the way over to Ann Street is really going to make a difference in this community. So we've worked very hard to get there. We're working very hard to see it continuing to grow and go. I really appreciate everybody's effort over the last 3 years to make this happen, and hopefully we can continue to make this go over the next 4 years. Thank you, Mr. President, and I appreciate the administration's participation in this. Jamie, everybody, we wrote this in the middle of a hurricane almost, and to the mayor's continued support of the $1 million on top of the monies that I put in every year. Thank you all. This has been a big move for District 2, a big move for neighborhood revitalization, and a big move for neighborhoods that don't see us all the time. Thank you.
Congratulations, Councilman Carroll. Job well done. Any other discussion?
Let's not forget that complete streets, that's $11.2 million on top of another $4.5 million contributed by this office to the district. So we're talking about in the last year and a half, we're talking about $16 million in contributions to District 2 to revitalize our neighborhoods. We've all been begging for the campground to come back. We've all been begging for restoration in the bottom. Well, it's here. Let's just keep it going.
Well, congratulations again. Any other discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes.
371346, revoke the business license at 1608 St. Stephen's Road.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second. And in discussion, I had asked in pre-council about asking for some additional information. I'm not ready to vote on this today, so and the questions that I had was, about the arrest inside of the clubs versus the arrest outside of the clubs. And I'm gonna ask if we can make a amendment to this motion that we can just hold this over for 1 week. If I can get a second.
I'll second it, and I'll take the friendly motion to lay it over a week.
Okay.
All right. But the general public needs to know that I asked for a lot of information from the administration. One, being a bell curve time to see when the calls for services were actually happening, what time they were, what types of calls they were, and where they were happening. Also, I asked for our process on Atlantis, what happened at 1608 in previous years, and also other establishments that have gone through this process over the last, I guess, 10 years or so, what we've had to do to make a decision. I hate to see anyone's business license be revoked. I hate to see anyone's livelihood been stricken, especially when we as business people work so hard to establish a business, to get it going, to make sure that we're providing for our families and for our friends. But as I said in pre-council, there has to be a consequence of action that's taken when nothing's being done to alleviate the problem. What that consequence is, we don't know yet, or I don't know. But again, the gist of it is that no person should live in fear of their surrounding environment when they're in their homes and they're trying to be safe. No one should be able to live in fear, no matter what happens. And if we don't uphold our responsibility to the general public where someone else's rights are infringed on, then we all have an issue with it. So I look forward to the discussion over the next week. I look forward to continue the discussion that we had at pre-council. But as the President has asked, I will accept the amendment to lay over for 1 week. But next week, we need to make a decision on this based on whatever recommendation comes before this council.
Okay. Properly moving and second, lay this over for 1 week. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Opposed. Okay. 5-1. Item laid over for 1 week.
There was a no. There was a no.
No, it passed. It's 6 of us. I keep thinking it's only 5 up here. 5-1. The only no was Josh. Are we going to have enough people here next week to actually pass this or make it work?
All 7 council members are planning on being here next
All
week.
7? Okay.
Ordinance is being introduced for the first time, 64054 through 11056.
Per council rules, these ordinances will be laid over for 1 week.
Consent resolutions being introduced for the first time, 031351 through 601361.
Move to waive the rules for immediate consideration of these resolutions as read.
Second. Properly moving second, in discussion. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Rules waived. Madam Clerk.
031351 and 1352, reappointing Raymond L. Bell Jr. to the Water and Sewer Board of Commissioners and appointing William Petway to the Board of Adjustment. 091353, transfer funds from District 3 discretionary account to City of Mobile Event Services Department to assist with the Parade of Threes. 1354, 1355, recommending approval to the ABC Board for issuance of a restaurant retail liquor license to Bake My Day on O'Shea Road and for issuance of a restaurant retail liquor license to Demay's Taco Cantina on Dolphin Street. 581357, declare weeds noxious, Weedling Group 1671. 601358, approve award a special bonus to the firefighter of the month. 601359, 1360, and 1361 are determining appropriations to Azalea City CDC, the Child Advocacy Center, and Mothers Involved Against Gun Violence serve a public purpose and approve payment.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moving second, in discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes.
371356, recommend approval to the ABC Board for issuance of a retail beer, table wine, off-premises only license to DIP Club Food Mart on Dolphin Island Parkway.
Motion to lay over for 1 week.
Second.
Properly moving second, in discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item laid over for 1 week.
CIP resolutions being introduced, 211362.
Per council rules, this resolution will be laid over for 1 week.
Resolutions being introduced, first time 081363 through 311368.
Move to waive the rules for immediate consideration of resolutions 08-1363, 1364, and 1367, with the rest of these being laid over for 1 week.
And 1368.
Yes, with the exception of 1368 as well, in the waiving, with the rest being laid over for 1 week.
Second. Properly moved and second in discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Rules waived. Madam Clerk.
08-1363, approved purchase order to Classic Paint and Body for wreck repairs to a fire truck. 09-1364, transfer funds from Bill Mobile Professional and Technical Account to Grant Project GHIST 023 for the Alabama Historical Commission Grant. 21-1367, authorized contract with Mobile Arts Council for professional services for the design and production of a statue in memory of Jimmy Buffett.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second in discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes.
31-1368, authorize the filing of applications with Federal Transit Administration for assistance.
Motion table.
Second.
Properly moved and second in discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item table.
Announcements.
Addition 1, Councilman Penn.
No announcements.
What? District 2, Councilman Carroll.
No announcements.
District 4, Councilman Reynolds.
Announcement.
District 6, Councilman Wood.
No announcements, Mr. President.
Vice President Gregory, District 7.
Well, gosh, I'm going to have to break that cycle there. I just want to talk a little bit about the dredging at Langen Park. If you've been by there to take a look lately, you can see that things are moving right along. The crew is working in the upper lake. It's that part of the creek that leads over to Ziegler. And they're telling me that the number one thing they have found so far are tennis balls, tons of tennis balls. As you might know, of course, the tennis center is right over there close by. They've also removed a significant amount of vegetation. They're cleaning the islands, and water is now free flowing from the upper lake. And then somebody had even mentioned online that it looks again like the murals at the Sanger Theater. So that's really good. We're excited to see this happening. It's going to be going on for some time. And just remember that traffic is rerouted over there. So just remember that when you start turning in to go to the park, it is still open. But they have rerouted traffic to make sure that people are not getting up too close to where the work is being done and putting themselves in danger. And also, everyone, please remember that, there is water there. And you're in South Alabama, and where there is water, there are animals and things in the water, like alligators. So just, be aware that where there is water, there are going to be alligators most likely somewhere. So just don't put yourself at risk. We do have signage at the lake. Some may have been taken down during some of the work out there, but we're making sure to get those signs back up just to make sure that everybody remembers. So thank you.
Okay. Anything from administration?
Motion to adjourn.
Properly moved and second in discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?